Hello everyone, here's the first chunk of our Caesar passage. I will warn you, as I glanced at this now, I can see that I think it's a little bit different to the information you have in your own Oxford courses, as in I think there's perhaps one extra clause in it that wasn't in this one. In fact, that wasn't in yours. Anyway, that's no problem, I'll translate it for you, and if you don't want to put it in, well, please yourselves, you don't have to. Okay, hope you're having a nice start to the term, by the way. Sorry that I can't be with you. Exigua parte Aestatis reliqua Caesar, with a small part of Aestatis, with a small part of summer left, with a small part of summer remaining, we have an ablative absolute right at the start, with a small part of summer remaining. Caesar always refers to himself by the third person. It suggests objectivity. I'm not sure that it actually represents objectivity, but it suggests it, and raises his profile with a small part of summer remaining. Caesar, although in these parts, now this next part, quod omnis, as I said, I'm not sure is in your book, because all of Gaul faces towards the north winds, inclines where it gets towards the north winds. Don't worry if that's not in your bit. Marturai sunt hiemes. The winters are early. He tamen, he still rushed to advance, to set out for Britain. He tamen, he still, however he rushed, he hurried to set out for Britain. Quod omnibus fere Gallicis bellis hostibus nostris inde subministrata in auxilia intellegebat. For he understood, because he understood intellegebat, that in almost all, that in omnibus fere, that in fere, in almost omnibus, all the Gallicis bellis, that in almost all the Gaelic wars, help, auxilia subministrata, help was provided inde, from there, to nostris hostibus, to our enemies. Shall I go through that whole sentence with you again? I think I shall. Because, quod, intellegebat, because he understood, auxilia, because he understood intellegebat, because he understood help, auxilia, subministrata, because he understood. Imagine that subministrata actually had an essay in it, so essentially this is an indirect statement. You'll notice that occasionally we leave out the verb to be in authentic Latin prose. Because he understood that in almost all the Gaelic wars, that help, that assistance was provided from there to nostris hostibus, to our enemies. This, of course, gives Caesar a very good reason to be doing it, which he needed. He needed to back up this. He didn't want to be seen as the aggressor. And si tempus anni, and if the time of the year was lacking for war bellum gerendum, for war being waged, notice how the gerendum is going to be agreeing with the bellum, which means that it must be a gerandiv rather than a gerund. So if the time of the year was lacking for waging a war, still he arbitrabatur, he still judged that fore. This word fore appears quite often in Unseens. It is an alternative form of futurum esse. It's an alternative form of the accusative infinitive of sum. He understood that it would still be of great use to him. Fore is the indirect statement, accusative infinitive. For he still understood that it would be of great use to him if he advanced, if he only travelled to the island, and he could perspexit genus hominum. He judged, however, it would be of great advantage to him if he only went to the island and he looked at the type of people. This is all conditional. And if he looked at the genus hominum, at the type of people, loca, the places, the portus, the harbours, and the aditus, and the disembarking points, and the entrances, and the, what's the word that I'm looking for? And the landing places, that's good, and the landing places. Quae omnia fere Gallis erant incognita. Connecting relative for the quae, all of which things, almost all of which things were unknown to the Gauls. Almost all of these things, quae almost all of which things were unknown to the Gauls. Neque enim temere praeter. For, now let's find our subject. Neque quisquam, for not anyone, praeter mercatores, except for merchants, adit went illo to that place. For practically no one, other than merchants, went there. Neque his quicquam, and to these people themselves, and even to these people. Neque quicquam, not anything notum est was known, praeter, except the oram maritimam, except the coastline, atque eas regiones, and those regions, quae sunt contra Galliam, which are opposite to Gaul. Shall I go through that whole sentence again? Neque enim, for not anyone, for no one went there, temere, we could say, for no one went there, sorry I left that word out, without good reason, for no one went there without good reason, except for merchants, and even to these people, and to these men themselves, and even to them, nothing was known, except for the coastline and those regions which were facing Gaul. Itaque, and so, having called merchants, abbots of absolutes, Caesar likes his abbots of absolutes, vocatis, mercatores, and so having called merchants to him from all sides. Now this is a difficult sentence, so you need to go right to the end of the sentence to find your main verb. He was able to find out, and having called all of these merchants to him, and even when he had questioned merchants from everywhere, he was able to find out, or he was not able to find out, quanta esset, he was not able to find out how big, literally how great was the size of the island, quanta esset, subjunctive there, it is an indirect question. How big is the island? Direct, he was able to find out how big the island, not able to find out how big the island was, indirect. So he was not able to find out how great the size of the island was, nor what type or how many nations, still indirect question, incolerent, dwelt there, lived there, nor what methods of war, nor what manner of fighting they possessed, quem usum belli, nor what manner of fighting, not what manner of warfare they possessed, nor aut quibus institutis uteretur, nor what, I'm trying to think, we could say that, nor what, we've said what manner of war for the last bit, nor what way of life they employed, they used, nor quibus institutis, I didn't want to say what institutions, nor what way of life they lived, uterentur, literally nor what institutions they used, but nor what way of life they used, nor qui essent, what harbours there were which were suitable, nor what harbours, nor qui portus, nor what harbours there were, idonei, suitable, ad maiorem, for a larger multitudinem, number, navium, of ships. So, neque, nor what portus, nor what harbours, essent there were, idonei, suitable, ad maiorem, for a larger number, maiorem multitudinem, for a larger group, navium, of ships. And that is the end of the first passage of Caesar. Well done, everyone. I hope that you have enjoyed it.